Evening peeps, evening, welcome back to the channel. Penultimate round of the Team Oliver Racing GT3 League for you guys tonight. Round 9, live from Fuji Speedway. We've got a 1 hour endurance lined up for you guys tonight. There has been talk of possible weather, rain at the end of this race, so who knows, It could very well happen. I'm not sure though, it has been hit and miss. So yes, we've got Fuji round 9 tonight. Oh no, that's not what I meant to be doing. I meant to be doing that. So as we come into round 9, we've got Gecko back on top of the championship with this week and next week to go. There's extra points next week. There's 2 races next week. So opportunities for extra points. So it is close between Gecko. He's sitting on 316 points out front. Then Philo is still right behind him though with 310 points. Potter still with the chance as well if he can get some good results here with the 2 drivers in front fluffing it up somewhere. He could possibly take the championship. It's going to be a push, but it is a possibility. Ace Killer 4th. Potter on 282 points. Let's just mention that. Ace Killer sitting in 4th. He's got 222 points. DIA 3SP Mart, he's got himself 181 points for 5th. Got Brinky in 6th with 158 points. Got Oni Kaijin in 7th with 144 points. We've got Fat Pickles Bro in 8th. He's got 113 points on the board. Yeah, I'm Frosty in 9th. He's got 101 points. DDR IT 43 in 10th. He's got 90 points on the board. D Ridders in 11th has 88 points. Millerman in 12th has 72 points. Savage, many numbers, unfortunately not racing, I don't think, for the rest of the season, but many numbers. Doing not too bad when he turned up. He turned up late in the season and only managed to get a couple of races, and unfortunately before the world turned against him. So he is on 31 points, so yeah, didn't get many races, and unfortunately many numbers. Rubinho, NVR Frozen, Hatterlad and Britsberger we've not seen for a week or 3, so I'm not even going to count those. Hatterlad out of the championship anyway. I think he did that quite early on. So that's points up until now. Again, we've got 1 race tonight, so points on the board, and 2 races next week. A short sprint race and the longer feature race to finish us off over there at Spa for the final round next week. So merch still available, people. T-shirts and stickers. Hit me up if you want any of those. Darksmoker at googlemail.com if you want any of those, or on the stream or in the Facebook page, or however you want. So here we are then into Fuji. Let me get the sound on because I know I sometimes forget. Can you hear it? I can hear it. Why can't you hear it? Oh, there we go. I know why. Because it's turned all the way down. Why? It's not meant to be turned all the way down. Right, you're going to have to let me know, people, how it sounds. If it's too quiet, too loud. Obviously, you're hearing bits and bobs. We're not on circuit. Yeah, let's have a quick look who's in the room. Qualifying, just getting underway then. So we have got Gecko, Oni, Philo. We've got Fat Pickles, Mart, Millerman, Potter McPot, IT43, Brinky, Ace Killer, D Ridders. Yeah, I'm Frosty. All racing tonight. 12 drivers on circuit. Okay, I think qualifying not quite getting underway. I think it's just about to get underway now. The McLaren of DIA 3SP Mark there, sat in the middle of the circuit. Here we go then. Qualifying, getting underway now then. 15 minutes here at Fuji. again, please let me know whether you can hear the cars properly. Obviously they're just sat in the pits at the minute. Okay, let me put some nonsense on now. Oh, that's what I've already done. Let's do a lap with Mart, shall we? So into turn 1, tricky. Fuji, an awkward little circuit. It's a nice layout, but the corners do seem to be a little bit off camber for the majority of them. They always want to throw you out wide down towards turn 2. Again, just wants to push you over to that right hand side and off the circuit into turn 3. Long sweeping right hand hairpin that tightens up. Bit of that corner, you just got to be aware of that. Down towards another almost hairpin left hand elbow. Again, it just wants to push you out wide onto that little bit of astroturf on the outside, and that's where the back wheels lose their grip, and away you go down the bit of a straight, then missing out the hairpin at the bottom. It is just a straight right hand corner, so this is the Fuji short course. We would have gone through that chicane on the right hand side of the circuit back there, but it's been taken out of contention for this season's race. So the last few corners of this one, again, just all off camber. Every single one of them just wants to push you out wide. You've got to be so careful when you get on the throttle. To this final corner, yeah, just got to be careful not to run it out too wide there. Pick up a bit of grass or astroturf and spin it round. Sounds fine to you? Okay, thank you, Mr. Harbin. I see you didn't manage to get on last night with the Infinity League. So just the final straight then, and Mart does a lap before us, and that is Fuji circuit. It is in the McLaren IT43 in that Renault. It's not been the strongest car this season, unfortunately, for IT43. Wild card choice, really. I don't think I've ever seen people decide on the Renault for the GT3s. IT43 braving it this season. Yeah, I'm Frosty, new to racing as well this season, but fast enough to get into the pros. And not done too bad, unfortunately. He's still on pad, so he seems to blow the tyres out pretty quickly. Gets a lot better when he's behind the wheel. Fat Pickles bro in the BMW. Pickle down the side of his car, kind of giving it away. Looks like a bit of a bro. He's got his thumbs up. Yeah, I was watching Mart in a practice lobby. Well, I was trying to watch Mart in a practice lobby last night, but he couldn't get on either. So times coming in then. Let's flick through. It is Gecko Racer currently on pole position. So 133.4.3 of a second ahead of Philo at the minute. He wants to stay in that position as well for every race for the rest of the season. I do like his livery. I think he's changed that halfway through the season, but yeah, I'm a fan of that Gecko. Philo then, his closest contender, only 6 points behind him in the championship at the minute is Philo. Again, Potter. Oh, no. Show Potter. Potter just behind him on track, so just behind him in the championship as well. Potter. Philo runs it a little bit wide, braids it on the AstroTurf. The Lexus for Philo. Oni Kaijin, the American, in the McLaren as well this season. Almost what you'd class as a slightly unfortunate season. He's at the start of the races, he's always battling away, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, something like that, and then I don't know, I'm not sure, he just forgets tyre wear or someone clips him, or unfortunately he always ends up mid-pack having a punch up that he shouldn't really be in. Should be slightly up the order. Oni. Those little things catching him out all season. Brinky as well. Just gets into one or two little entanglements. Who's that that's just run massively wide? Oh, it's Pot. There's Philo just in front of him. There is Mart. Did we have a look at? We weren't looking at times for the rest of them, were we? So, oh, it's Philo that's now come through to stick the fastest lap in 1:33.0. 0.3 of a second quicker than Gecko. He's on that 1:33.4. This Killer is on a 1:33.8. Seems to have found his feet or set up that Nissan for the second half of this season, and it just seems to have come good in the last few races. Of good results under his belt as well. A win and a second last week, close to a first, but only a second last week. Taking a win the week before Ace Killer. Oni again. Is he on a 1:33.8 for Ace Killer in third? Oni in fourth on a 1:33.9. Brinky fifth in the BMW 1:33.9 as well, just 5 thousandths behind Oni at the minute. Pot, fresh set of boots on for him. Second behind Philo, so he's on 1:34 pretty much. Mart as well on a fresh set of tyres, as is Philo. 1.3 back for Mart. Philo still on that top spot for the time being though. Fat Pickles in 8th. He's got himself a 1:34.8. Probably a 1:38.9 actually, a 1:34, sorry, 1:33.9. No, 1:34.9. Come on, brain, do math. Frosty 1.9 back, so pretty much 1:35 for him. Metalman coming through, 1:35.6 on the clock for him. Ridders freshening his tyres up, or cleaning his tyres up. 2.9 back at the minute for Ridders. It's about a 36, 1943 in the Renault, 3.8 back, so I know about almost a 137 for IT43. Again, I don't think the Renault's the strongest car for the GT3 season or leagues. Little wheel on then from Philo through that final corner. It isn't out lap, so it's not overly precious. Over the halfway point then, Philo holds that top spot for the time being. Gecko did hold it, but got that taken off him by Philo. Ooh, drifting the Aston. His Killer still holding third position. Oh, Oni's backwards here at Fuji. Trying to get the power down again in these GT3s with dirty tyres. Causes them to spin themselves up, and around we go as we just catch Oni getting himself, oh, still a little bit of grub on those tyres. Slows him down just onto his outlap with a set of fresh tyres, fresh but dirty now unfortunately. Yeah, just catches him out on the way in. That might be this lap a couple of tenths down already. Tightening right-hand hairpin, sweeping hairpin, right-hander, may as well just be a right-hander. Holding that fifth at the minute for Brinks, just 0.8 of a second back from Philo's time. Oh, who's just come through there? It is Pot. Stuck in a time, good enough for third at the minute. 9.5 minutes into quali. We've got 5.5 minutes left. 1:33.4 then for Potter. Whoa, and he gets a wiggle on through turn one. And that's that lap thrown in the bin for him. So top four on the grid at the minute is how they, or no they're not, sorry. Gecko Racer on the top spot, isn't he? That is the top 4 though. Gecko, Philo, Potter and Ace Killer in the championship. Set of tyres then for Oni. Wasn't happy with was this the end of that other lap? He was spinning out. No, it can't be, that was ages ago. Ricky braving it on that AstroTurf outer part of the circuit. Mart staying out of the way as well, just as Fat Pickles comes through. Still got the wobbly lobbies a little bit, unfortunately. You can see just as they hit these corners, some of these drivers get a bit of a wiggle on. Boink, 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 boink. Still not quite sure what's causing it. There's Fat Pickles in the BMW coming up to the line then. What is he able to put in? It's 1:34.9 for that lap. That chucks him into 8th. Yeah, the 1 hour endurance coming up then. They do have to use all 3 compounds of tyre. Again, if the rain turns up, they've got the option to brave it out on the soft, mediums, hards, or they can risk it on a set of inters or wets. It's entirely up to them, but that does sort of change the rules up a little bit, and I don't quite know which way they're going to go with it. If it rains, obviously it turns it into a wet race and then negates the use for all 3 sets of tyres, so you know, if you've already done your stop, your final stop or something, and the rain comes in, what do? Do you risk it for a biscuit? Do you stay out? Or do you come in, get those sets of inters on, lose that time, and try and gain it back on circuit? Ooh, glad it's not me. I'm glad I just have to commiserate them for making the wrong choice at some point throughout the race. So as we were then, Philo still on the top spot, Gecko still second. He's coming out of the pits on a fresh set of tyres, so looking to press hard at the end then. Gecko get his out lap done and then get a fast lap with less fuel on. We'll see whether that works out for him. Potter still in 3rd position then. Ace Killer still in 4th, Oni still in 5th, Brinky still in 6th, Mart still in 7th, Fat Pickle still in 8th. Yeah, I'm Frosty in 9th, Millerman 10th, Ridders in 11th, and IT43. That is your grid order so far. We've got a couple of minutes left of qualifying. Can anybody move up the field in these last remaining minutes? What? It's getting hot in here already. Kicking up the dirt then, Philo. So about a minute left of quali, just over. They do get to finish any laps they're on. So if they do cross the line before the timer turns to 15 minutes, get the option to finish that lap off. Philo just allowing IT43 through before he starts his push for his final race qualifying lap, sorry. Oof, little wiggle on the way out there for Philo as well. Getting a bit of a toe off IT43 down this start-finish straight to help him out on this qualifying lap. Go then, Philo's fast lap. Gecko halfway round. 15 seconds left on the race timer, so Got to be quick if you want to cross that line. Got a couple of drivers coming up towards the line now. They should get across it just about. That is it. 15 minutes done and dusted. Who has just crossed the line? Okay, it's Fat Picklesbro that sits himself with the extra final lap. Drivers in this great big train here. Who's it going to be? There's a Millerman who's in front of him. It's Ridders. So Ridders is going to take 11th on the grid then. Millerman comes home in 10th. Yeah, I'm Frosty crosses the line. He takes 9th. Oh, IT43's got it wrong through the right-hander. Who else has just crossed the line? Was it Brinky? I think it was because he chucked himself in the pits. Philo out wide. Again, just feathering that throttle on the way out. Again, risking it. Pushing hard then in this final lap. He's still on pole at the minute. There's Gecko. That's him. Gecko's already crossed the line, so it is Philo on pole position then. Gecko races second. Potter McPot down towards the line. He stays in a third position. Ace Killer stays fourth. Brinky is fifth. Onikaijin sixth. Hart in seventh. Oh no, he's still out on his hot lap, is he? No, he can't be. Can't be. No, he's slowing down. So that one's Mart in seventh. Then Fat Pickles in eighth. Frosty in 9th, Millerman 10th, Ridders in 11th, and IT43 in 12th. Paul Stanford. Evening. Qualifying just finished then. It is Philo on top spot for another week. He's gets that extra point for qualifying. And he needs it now. 6 points behind Gecko in the championship. Just tonight and next week to go. 2 races next week with the sprint and feature setup. This week we've got a 1 hour endurance, which is not far off getting underway. A little bit of a break just before we kick off with the hour-long race. Give the drivers a few minutes to get comfortable and maybe go for a pee and sort themselves out. And, you know, an hour race in these conditions. It's warm tonight, people. Warm. Don't forget to hit that like button. So it's going to be a close championship. Again, Potter, Gecko and Philo all within a chance of taking it. Again, Potter's chances are a little bit lower. He's a few points further down the field, and he's got to hope for Philo and Gecko to have a couple of bad races. So there's qualifying positions officially. Philo on that top spot, Gecko second, Potter third, Ace Killer fourth, Brinky fifth, Onikaijin sixth, DIA3SP Mart seventh, Fat Pickles Bro in eighth. Yeah, I'm Frosty in 9th, WPR Millerman in 10th, D Ridders 88 in 11th, and DDR IT 43 in 12th. We do have 2 lobbies running tonight. We've got the pros, you're watching with me, Dart Smoker, and we've got the pro-ams running over there on Facebook with D.Racing or D.90. So if you're looking for the pro-ams, it's over there on Facebook. Just stick in D. into the search bar, and I'm sure you'll see his pretty little face. Tell him I said hello. Potter then giving 5 minutes for the lads to sort themselves out, and ladies, could be ladies. Don't think there is. Again, in this day and age. Oof. What's it going to be then here at Fuji? Again, it's a little bit of a tricky circuit. It's off-camber corners. again, the call that weather might or might not turn up in the last sort of few laps or last 15 minutes or 10 minutes or something. It might miss us completely, and it's the gamble the drivers now have. Do they stick with the mediums, hards, softs, or if the rain comes, do they sack that strategy off and dive in for possibly an extra pit stop and risk it for a set of inters or wets? Well, it depends on A, how good of a driver you are, B, how brave you are, C, how close to the end you are, D, if you're a maniac or not, and E, many other numbers and things to go into that equation. And again, I'm glad it's not me making those decisions. I just have to go, oh, maybe he shouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. If only he hadn't of blah, 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 blah. Next week, insert driver's name here. Flipping out, it is getting warm in here. Got window open. Got many electronics running though. Warm. Again, I'm glad I'm not behind the wheel tonight. It can get a bit sweaty in the old sim racing world. Especially if you're having a damn good race. If you're out on your own, you know, just sort of racing your own race, it's not too bad. But if it's a side-by-side battle, or if you're defending to save your life, you're just as quick as the driver. But ooh, yeah, it can get a bit getting a bit gripey in those chairs, that's for sure. So a couple more minutes then till we wait for this race to kick off. Philo grabbing those points. What he'll also be after is fastest lap as well. That's another extra point in the championship. Again, he's only just 6 points behind Gecko. He's led it pretty much from the start as Philo, but Gecko's made a bit of a charge in the second half of the season. He's pulled the lead 2 weeks ago. Philo pulled it back last week, but Gecko has had a good week last week, and points this week show he's back on top. So it's on then. Again, Philo, Gecko and Potter all have a chance of taking the championship. Potter's is a little bit more hard pressed than the two drivers in front, but it is a possibility. So maybe he's, because what is he, third on the grid? Maybe he ram raids both drivers. Ooh, here we go then. Maybe he ram raids both drivers at turn one. Somehow that he doesn't pick up damage and they do. Then disappears off. And it is an hour race though, so unfortunately Gecko and Philo are quick enough to come back and have a pop. Right, let's get ourselves in then. Oh, that's not what we're meant to be doing. We're meant to be getting ourselves in and turning the nonsense on before the race starts. And here we go then. Red lights going on. We wait for these to drop. And then we'll see if Philo can hold on to this pole position into turn one. They're away then. He's peeling across to the right-hand side of the circuit already. Come on, camera, centre up. There we go. He does hold on to it just. There's drivers all pushing for position into turn one. Oh, we've got drivers. Who's that? Who's that? I've just heard tyres going. Oh, it's Frosty. He's been backwards at turn one. He's got himself pointing back in the right direction, but he's dropped from 9th to 12th in turn one. It's still Philo leading then. Gecko Racer second. Potter McPot third. Ace Killer fourth. Yeah, tyres squealing all over the place. Ace Killer fourth. Brinky. Oh, Brinky getting that turn a little bit wrong. He's fired himself into the wall. Picked up no damage, unfortunately, because he's got to take the long route round here so as not to spin out when he rejoins the circuit. That's put him right into this mid-pack battle. Comagin in 5th. Mart in 6th. Brinky 7th. Fat Pickles in 8th. Ridders 9th. Oof, Millerman having a little look round there, but wasn't able to make it work in 10th. IT43 in 11th, and Frosty already on the back end of IT43 after his spin in turn 1. Oh, there has Philo's lost that running down the hill into the right-hander, hasn't he? Gecko then gets himself back up front. 0.6 of a second over Philo. Potter all over the back end, always going for the move. Can he carry the speed? Will Philo chuck one back up the inside? Has he got enough to make a move back here into turn 1? He's falling a little bit too far back for that. Ace Killer's even having a look at Philo up the inside as well. Oh, he's gone in too hot though. He's taken a little bit of the back end of Potter out. He's pushed him off circuit, in fact. Slows down to let him back on circuit, gives him a little nudge down the track as well, but that has allowed Philo to retake that position on board with that little incident then with Potter and Ace Killer. Just nudged Potter off circuit, coming in a little bit hot there, Ace Killer. Is he on the hard tyres or something? Potter on the mediums. Let's get ourselves back out to trackside cams, so that allows Gecko and Philo to stretch out from Gecko, already pulling 1.4 seconds over Philo. He is on the medium tyre. Philo's also on the medium tyre. He's now got himself... Oh, Philo, I thought he was going backwards. He's managed to hold it though. Coming into this tricky section, that's going to slow him down a little bit. So he's got 2.3 seconds over Potter in 3rd position. Potter out on the medium tyre as well. Ace Killer in 4th on the mediums. Oof, Mart up the inside. Ronnie Kaijin into 5th then. He's on the soft tyre for his first stint, Mart. He needs to make those work, push hard. Ronnie Kaijin, who he's just overtaken, also in the McLaren, but on a set of medium tyres. Brinky in 7th. We just saw him get himself off circuit in 7th with those mediums as well. A lot of drivers opting for the mediums in stint 1. Ridders as well in 8th. Mediums, hards on for Fat Pickles in 9th. Frosty makes up a position into 10th, also on the hard tyre for stint 1. IT43 holding that 11th on the hard tyre, and Millerman on the mediums. Unfortunately, he's made a mistake somewhere, now 10.5 seconds down in 12th. Medium tyre on board for him. Finding a little bit here and there. He's got almost 1.6 seconds over Philo. Again, these two close in the championship for the title here. Philo risking it all the way on the outside. 2 wheels on that grass on the way out. Potter then in 3rd, 2.6 seconds back at the minute. He's holding his own. Oh, we just catch Mart on the soft tyre. Making a move on Ice Killer and gets himself up into 4th then, making those soft tyres work. Closing in on Potter McPot already, 0.6 of a second. He'll be within a shout of this position if he can hold on to Potter into this final corner. Again, just got these wobbly lobbies to contend with. 0.6 of a second back. Let's get ourselves on board with Potter McPot. Let's get a bit of that cam. Mart then 0.7 of a second. He is within slipstream range, but he's too far back. It does look like Potter got a good drive out of that corner. He's managed to pull a little bit of time over Mart. Again, Mart on the soft tyre versus the BMW's medium tyres. Closes up under braking then Mart. To get himself away from that battle behind him and close his way back up to Potter before he blows those tyres out. Potter just deciding he's sticking in a couple of purple sectors. Back up front then, a little mistake from Gecko. That's caused Philo to close right back up on him, within slipstream range now for Gecko, for Philo. Running down this little bit of a straight then. Not close enough for the move here into the right-hander. Purple sectors on board for Philo as well. Gecko will be kicking himself. He'll have needed to hold on to that lead, really. Keep just stretching it out up front. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. battle still kicking off behind in third position. Oh, still just a second behind Potter. Potter gets a little bit of a drift on through there, or did he steer across circuit to drop the toe for Mart behind? It's not working. Mart is closing up this time. Again, not going to be enough before turn one. Down to 0.6 of a second. Slams the brakes on into turn one. Almost catches up with Potter. Almost able to get past him. Down to 0.3 of a second. Pulls away from Ace Killer and Oni Kaijin having a battle for fifth behind. Potter runs a bit wide, Mart runs a bit wide as well. Has that affected either of them's entry or exit through here? Potter having to jab a little bit of brake on. Mart looking for a way through. Oh, he's able to brake later than Potter. A little bit of contact between the two. Now the glitch jump there for Potter. He jumps forward on track. I was just about to say Mart's in with a shout here, how close Potter was, but then Potter somehow glitch ejected up the track, but Mart keeping himself right there with him. Again, he's just got to try and make these soft tyres work before he blows them out. Get himself past Potter. Coming up towards this long start finish straight again. Let's see, we'll give him one more opportunity, then we'll go and see what else is kicking off on the circuit. To 7 again behind Potter. Potter getting a better exit. That gap stretching up 2.9. It's not on the cards again then for Mart, unfortunately. Has allowed Ace Killer to almost get back involved with him as well. And these two still pretty much bumper to bumper then. Gecko. Huh? But, huh? Philo's gone. IT43's left the room. What? Oh, don't tell me we're going to see a lobby crash. That's a bit unfortunate. Two drivers just getting ejected from the room for absolutely no reason. Again, lobby's not super strong. They have got better, but obviously still got issues. So it is now a Gecko Racer. Pole, Potter McPot in second, DIA 3SP Mart in third position, but unfortunately losing time to Potter in front, losing time to Ace Killer behind as well. Both drivers on that medium tyre. Everybody behind Gecko moving up the field one position. Into fifth, then Oni's sixth. Brinky's moved up a position as well. Oni's fallen back down another position. Ridder's seventh, Fat Pickles in eighth, Frosty in ninth, and Millerman in 10th. And unfortunately, yeah, we've lost IT43 as well. Servers, damn you. Drink time. Mercedes of Millerman, a little bit far away from Frosty in front, unfortunately. 8.3 seconds. Again, it's a long race at Fuji. Oh, you see, I'm Frosty having a little punch up with Fat Pickles Bro for 8th and 9th here. Fat Pickles just holding it into turn 2 though. Runs a little bit wide, holds onto it. Frosty looking for a way through. Nowhere to go this time. Different braking points there for Fat Pickles and Frosty, and it almost caught Frosty out. Good reaction though not to take out Fat Pickles in front, steering over to the right. Messed his race up a little bit, but it's a good respect not to use Fat Pickles as a brake. So Gecko having a bit of a lonely race now. He did have Philo 0.5, 0.6 of a second behind him, but we just saw Philo get ejected from the room. So that gives a 4.5 second lead to Gecko over Potter. I'm not sure what they're going to do about this. Again, the two closest rivals in the championship, and one of them getting ejected from the room. You know, if it was over the halfway point or whatever the rules are, I don't know what the deep dark rules are for that kind of thing. That's down for the admins to sort out. I'll just tell you lot the outcome. He's a killer then, 2.7 seconds back from Potter McPot. He's managed to get himself back past Mart. Brinky as well, closing up on him, and Oni Kaijin in 5th and 6th. So Mart just got to be a little bit careful here. The wear starting to show on his softs. Do have to use all 3 compounds, as I've mentioned, unless it rains, and then they can opt for the wets or the inters. But it could mess your strategy up if you've already been for your last stop. Yeah, if you've already been for your last stop and it starts to rain, well, what do? Do you risk it, stay out on the softs and not waste that time in the pits, or do you risk that time in the pits to try and save the time by not spinning out on circuit? Again, it all depends on many factors. Away from that battle with Mark Oni Kaijin as well. Ridders, a bit of a lonely one. He's 5.9 back. Who is that? I can just hear tyres. Someone's gone sideways and backwards. And is it Oni? Oh, Gecko, race leader. Oh, okay. We're getting a restart. Okay. Phew. Yeah, there you go. So, is it going to be a shortened race now? Are they going to shorten it? They're going to do 45 minutes. Hey, Mr. Harbin, they're still not quite fixed. Let's just chuck that in and see what happens. Oh, Middleman can't stay too late. He's got to be up at 4 in the morning. Oof, leader. Feel for you. So yeah, we'll have to see. Is it going to be a shorter race, or are they going to keep the hour? That might see a couple of drivers disappear again. Just you know, not able to quite put all the hours in. Again, if you're getting up at 4 in the morning, you should be thinking about going to bed now. I'd have thought maybe an hour ago. So let's see what happens. What are we going to do? Still saying it's 60 minutes, but phew. Yeah, you see, Millerman's had to go. Obviously pushing it. Philo back in the room as well. Hopefully his connection's a bit better. Maybe it's not his connection. Maybe they just don't like Philo. Hey, Paul Stanford to Stanford. Yeah, let's see what the lobby host decides. Also, race admin. Hopefully they've been alright over there on Facebook. Let me just grab my mobile telecommunications device and have a look over there on the old Facebook application. Where is the dot? Boom. There you go. They had issues again on Pro-Ams, yeah, by the looks of it. Restarting the race over there. Yeah, Pro-Am lobby closed. Smash that like button! God damn it! Yeah, I saw the Infinity League didn't run last night. Obviously, I was saying earlier on in the stream that I was with Mart last night and he couldn't get on till very late. So we're still at 60 minutes. We're a fair way in. We're about quarter of an hour in. Possibly should have knocked that one off and just shoved Philo in to second behind Gecko. Just send a little message over to the dot star. Boom, pow, boom, pow. Show him some love, some thumbs up, and some hearts and naters for the old dot star. Yeah, come on, PlayStation. Come on, PlayStation. It's about time you got your sugar honey iced tea together. Damn it. Well, I'm going to say smoke them if you've got them. Alright. I'll try not to miss the start of the restart. Try not to. Ooh, okay. Ooh, hey. Get yourself on track. Come on. Hey, get on track. So it looks like we are going back for a full 1 hour shenanigans here then. Did IT43 get back in the room? Did see him in there, I think. You know they're going to reset themselves every time the race starts. You know that, don't you? Yeah, IT43's back in. But yeah, unfortunately we've lost Millerman. He's working at the crack of dawn. So he's out, unfortunately. He can't stop any later. Can't risk the restart. So he's done. We have got Philo back in the room. We have got IT43 back in the room. Let's hope everyone sticks around for the second attempt at this. Nobody's overly confident in any of the chats, to be honest. The Pro-Am lobby saying, you know, they've just had to restart, so could still have issues with the old lobbies. It might not, still not might. Get your words out. It still might not happen tonight if all of a sudden drivers start getting ejected again. That's enough of you, Martin. Let's have a look at the Ace Killers livery, the green and black Nissan, storming down the Fuji straight here. I should have gone and got another drink, shouldn't I? Now we're back to a full hour. I've necked off what I've got. Yeah, hashtag GT7 broken. Yes, it is. Right, let's try this one again then. We are back to original positions. Philo on pole position. Gecko second. Potter third. Ace Killer in fourth. We'll wait for these lights to go red again. Get underway for pace 9.2. Off. It's a good start from everybody again. Again, Philo holds on to the lead. Gecko slots himself right behind. Potter has another little look up the inside this time. He has got his nose up, tiny bit of contact between the two drivers, but nothing too dramatic. Oh! Was that glitching? It could have been, but still pointing in a straight line. It wasn't a minute ago. He's dropped a position. Ridders has managed to get through. Still kicking off here then early on in the second attempt at this race. We have still got Philo, Gecko, Potter and Ace Killer still pretty close together. All four of these drivers on the mediums. Only in fifth, a little further back, 1 second so out on the medium tyres. We've then got a battle for sixth. We've got Ridders, Brinky and Marr all pushing hard. Aston, BMW, McLaren. On the mediums, Brinky on the hards this time, and Mart has obviously swapped strategy. He's gone for the mediums on this first stint when he's had the softs on for the original one. Everybody's downloading COD. Yeah, well, I'm the guy shooting at the sky in that, so... No, Beetles are banned. Beetles are banned. One of the banned cars. They're too OP. IT43 then, one of the drivers getting oofed from the first attempt at this race, sitting in 9th at the minute. Hard tyres on board with him, Fat Pickles on hards as well, and yeah, I'm Frosty on hards, again losing Millerman for this second attempt. Look at this string of drivers heading down here then. Gecko's got himself back into the lead of this race, just as he did in the first attempt. Philo second, Potter third, Ace Killer in fourth, Oni in fifth. Pretty much bumper to bumper, just 1.4 seconds between those 5 drivers. Must remember to click my lighter away from the microphone. Sorry people if that keeps getting you. A couple of people have mentioned it to me and it's just one of the things I forget. Down towards this right-hander, so we miss out that chicane on the behind the drivers, just down on the left. Head straight up towards these tricky off-camber corners here then. Yes, Drac Fury, no Beetles. Philo and Gecko looking for 2 completely different lines on the way through there. That final corner, Philo looking for a good exit. Gets one side by side with Gecko as they head down this start-finish straight. Wait, there he is. Gecko gets the power down though, the Aston got a little bit more when it comes to the mid-range power. Into 6, he then slots himself over to the defensive side of the circuit. Can make Philo run around the outside if he wants it. Oof, be careful, who's that that's trying to slot their way up the inside? Potter McPot almost making a move there as well. Ace Killer had to think about it. Oni Kaijin still bolted onto the back end of these 4. He could have had an attempt if anything had gone wrong. Look at the gap that's allowed Gecko to pull. Philo will not want to let Gecko disappear again. 1.2 seconds the gap currently. That stretches out that top 5. They are now 2.6 seconds apart. I think it brings some sawdust to the stream. Nice. I'll keep doing it. Gecko then 1.3 seconds over Philo. Philo's still got a mirror full of Potter, Ace Killer and Oni. Got his own worries to think about. Ridder's not too far off the back end of this fight either. What is he? Just 1.9 seconds back. So in the Aston. Brinky and Marr having a punch up for 7th at the minute. Hard tyre versus a medium tyre. Whoa, Marr getting a slightly better exit, but Brinky just holding his car exactly where he needed to. Getting a little bit of bump draft down here we are. And And then Mark utilises that, slingshots past, tries to get the BMW just to hang. Oh, there's that slip glitch. What's that all about? He runs deep though into turn one. That's going to allow Martin back through into 7th. Not into 7th. Kicking off behind as well. Fat Pickles and that's the wrong thing. Fat Pickles and and Frosty having a battle as well. IT43 just on the back end of this one. A bit wide there for Fat Pickles. That's just upset on Frosty on the way, and that's going to give IT43 something to aim at. Not quite this time. Dappled light here as well at Fuji. Gotta just be so careful on how wide you run these cars. Wider. Ooh, Frosty getting a wobble on. IT43 still not been able to take advantage of these little mistakes from Frosty. Now in a prime position down this start-finish straight. What have you got, IT43? How's that Renault going to perform against a great big Mercedes? Frosty's got a tiny bit of a toe from Fat Pickles in front. Renault is closing up on Frosty. Hasn't got enough grunt to make the move. Running round the outside here then IT43. Side by side with Frosty on the run through there. He's had to run it wide though, give Frosty the space. Unfortunately, that's upset his attack. Falls a little bit further behind. Gecko then still out on his own, but punch up happening for second. Potter gets his way into second, then Philo still sliding about. He's coming back at Potter though, not allowing him to get away with that one too easily. Onto this little bit of a straight as well. Potter's going to have to hang it all the way over to the right hand side of the circuit to avoid. Philo's held it out on the racing line anyway. That gives Potter a little bit of breathing room. But we have still got Ace Killer and Oni Kaijin tucked in the shadow of this battle for the second. 6th, Mart all over the back of him for 7th. ASMR, hashtag like to click. Mart now in a good position to make a move on Ridders. He's just 2.3 seconds back. Still got the cars jumping about a little bit, so it must be tricky for drivers. A little bit of help, so he gives Ridders a tiny nudge down the circuit to try and help both drivers close up on the guys in front. Now has a little look up the inside into turn one, backs out of it. Just to hang on to 7th then for the time being, Mart. He's got to hang on to the track as well, keep off the grass. Still got this glitching going on. It's still not pretty lobbies then for PlayStation and GT7. Pickles and Frosty still having a punch up for 9th. Unfortunately, IT43 has fallen off the back end of this fight. He's now still almost 2 seconds, 1.7 seconds back. These two still having a good go at it though. Down the hill, Fat Pickles still with the advantage at the minute. Frosty giving him plenty of room. Oh, switches to the inside. It was a great move from Frosty. It didn't work though. Wasn't able to outbrake Fat Pickles. Did think about the switch up the inside there at the last minute. Would have been a great move if it had worked, but not to be this time. Frosty then needs to keep himself in touch with Fat Pickles to have another launch down this start-finish straight into turn one. Oh, he gets the tail out though. That's going to lose him time. You can see Fat Pickles already stretching out in front. He will still gain a toe, but that loses him the advantage of an attack down into turn one. they managed to keep the well, it doesn't look like they have. Pro-Ams looks like that's still down. Oh no! Where have you gone? There we are on board with IT43. So we just catch Fat Pickles getting it wrong into turn 1. That allows Frosty through then, and IT43 gains the 43 gains the advantage. Not 43. He goes through and gains the advantage due to that mistake from Fat Pickles. He is back in the fight, but some dirty tyres. Luckily, no damage on board for Fat Pickles. Work to do for him though. Gecko still holding this great big lead out front. The battle for second continues. Philo's regained it. Potter's nearly lost that third as well. That tail on the BMW stepping out through the final couple of corners. And he's still got a mirror full of Oni and a Ace Killer. Just loses a little bit of time to Philo, pulls a tiny bit back down this straight. Gets it down to 0.6 of a second. Needs to stick with the Lexus and the tighter parts of the circuit. Stick with him until that final corner. And then get the press on and try and get the move done on him. Just got to be careful of these two drivers behind Ace Killer and Oni. Kaijin goes wide through there, manages to keep it pointing in a straight line, but he also loses a little bit of time to Ace Killer. Then into 6 past Ridders. 0.9 of a second over him at the minute. 5.9 seconds down from 5th place Oni Kaijin, unfortunately. Ridders tail steps out on his Aston. Having a bit of a lonely race at this point. Frosty as well gets that gap between himself, Fat Pickles and IT43. With that mistake from Fat Pickles, he's already made that position back over IT43 though, back into 10th. Now 4 seconds away from, I'm Frosty in front. IT43 got someone to fight with though. This man just out on his own at the minute. Wondering why we're running a little bit late. We lost a couple of drivers early on in the first attempt, and due to the fact that it was so close in the championship, one of those drivers being this man, the Philo, who's currently sitting in second. We've gone for a restart, full 1 hour endurance back, so we've done about 12-15 minutes in the original one, but gone for the restart to try and keep it fair to everyone. We've lost one driver due to the fact they can't stop as late as everyone else, so unfortunately Millerman out for this round. Do I need to put hashtag like to click, hashtag ASMR in my stream title? Do I need to talk softly into the microphone like this? Not doing that. Gecko squeals his tyres round there, keeps it pointing in the right direction. Keeps his lead over Philo as well. I think I'm still at 1.4 seconds. Philo now with 1.1 over Potter. Potter won't be gaining a toe down this start-finish straight this time. Philo gets a little bit of a wobble on through that final corner. Might benefit Potter. Does close down a little bit. Ace Killer still holds 4th. Again, the gap's just starting to stretch open a little bit. A second between Potter and Ace Killer. And now 1.4 between Oni Kaijin and Ace Killer. Sitting in 5th then for Oni. Just chuck some random hashtag typos in there, yeah? Why does that work? Does that help the algorithm? For people with fat fingers that just smash the keyboard and press enter. out then, sitting in that 6th position, losing time to those 5 drivers in front, unfortunately. Still pulls a little bit of time over Ridders behind him. Keeps himself out of danger for the time being then. Again, Brinky having a little bit of a lonely one. He's 4 seconds behind Ridders. 6.5 seconds ahead of this man. Yeah, I'm Frosty. And the gap's opened up between Fat Pickles and IT43. So possibly another mistake from IT43, costing him all that time. Again, no damage, but almost a 10-second gap now between himself and Fat Pickles. Still pressing in front then Gecko. We've just seen Philo and Potter around that final turn. They are back down to slipstream distance between them. Ace Killer also drags himself within slipstream distance as well. Potter, again, Ace Killer's had a couple of good weeks. A win and a second in the last couple of weeks. And he's always been sort of 4th, 5th-ish, 6th maybe with a bad week. Something in the second half of the season to do to that car. It's worked. But can anyone's strategy outwit this man? Almost 5 seconds up the road, 16.5 minutes into this 1 hour endurance. Top 5 drivers all on the same strategy, top 6 drivers all on the same strategy. Mediums for stint 1 at least. See what happens in stint 2. They do have to use all 3 compounds of tyre, the softs, the mediums and the hards. They are only allowed to use 1 set of each as well, so you've got to time it right. But that's all thrown up in the air if it starts to rain. If it rains, it becomes classed as a wet race. You don't have to abide by any of the tyre rules, and it's a free-for-all. You can go for the racing softs, mediums, hards, you can stick wets on, you can go for the inters. So yeah, it's a gamble you've got to take, but you know, the weather might hit us, it might not. Okay, so it looks like they have got the Pro-Ams underway then. Let's just see who's leading that one. I can see them racing. It is Mr. Maligator leading that one. Jambu in second. Why has it just stopped? Maybe just a glitch on the Facebook stream, but they are still racing. Maligator leading then, Jambu in second in the Pro-Ams at the minute. And over here we've got Gecko leading, still finding time, 4.7, almost 4.8 ahead of Philo. Well, you say that, Mr. Fury, but the weather gods that throw the weather codes down into the lobby have declared that it could be a possibility at the end of this race. But it is completely hit and miss. It could or it couldn't. It's one of those settings. So it's an absolute gamble in this race tonight. Gecko gets a wobble on, but look at the time he's pulled, 5.6 seconds. Philo's made another mistake. Potter's all over the rear end of him just as they hit this start-finish straight. Let's get ourselves on with Potter. Doesn't go for the bump draft, just slingshots his way past Philo into second, straight over to the defensive line. Doesn't want Philo to have an attack on the way into turn 1. All the way down into first for Potter to slow that big BMW down. It works, he holds second position. Philo now third. Ace Killer still about second, maybe a second and a half off the back of these two in fourth, and Oni Kaijin hanging on, but again falling further and further back from Ace Killer. Philo still pushing Potter hard, looking for this second position back. Philo gets a wobble on. Potter using the Team Opliver Racing Esports livery, just while we've got a bit of a side angle on him. Let's go to the other side. Number 13 strapped on the rear window as well. If you know, you know. Flip. This battle though for second is all allowing Gecko Racer to just stretch himself an even bigger gap. Stop it, Philo. Stop pretending to spin around behind me. Stop me mid-sentence. All over the back of Potter as he comes out of that final turn. Can he now make a move? Again, the BMW has been one of the quickest cars this season. And you can see the gap already stretching between him and Philo. That will come back down. Philo then. Will it? No, that's just getting bigger, that gap between Philo and Potter. So the BMW's power then goes a tiny bit deep through there. Philo side by side with him on the run down towards this next corner, but Potter's just got to keep his wing on the inside. But it is going to be an absolute fight now for this second position. Philo gets himself through, runs himself a little bit off circuit. Does get himself through into second now. Is that classed as a little bit of a naughty move? He's got all four wheels off the circuit. He's managed to take a position using it. I suppose it all depends on if anyone chucks that to the stewards. It is Philo back into second position with that move. Potter back into third. Ace Killer still in the hunt then, just half a second back in fourth. Kaijin is only a second and a half back himself, so he's managed to close that gap back up as well, and a little bit more, down to 1.2 seconds on the run into that corner. Top five then, apart from Gecko, still pretty close together. Mart unfortunately falling even further down, 13.1 seconds. He has pulled more time over the drivers behind though, but no chance of catching up with those drivers in front on this stint. 4.4 seconds over Ridders. He's slowly but surely falling into the hands of Brinky on the hard tyre on the BMW. Frosty 9th, 8.4 seconds back. Where you going, Frosty? IT43 in 10th in that Renault, and Fat Pickles been in the pits, out on a fresh set of mediums then for stint 2. 13.5 seconds behind IT43. Again, he's out on the hard tyre, so slightly slower. We'll see when he decides to come in. Oof, gets the tail a little bit out on the Renault through there. Mediums really starting to show their wear on the drivers up front, but still pulling time. Gecko 7.8, almost 7.9 seconds over Philo. Philo's still got his own worries though. Potter and Ace Killer close right back up on him. Oni Kaijin still just 1.3 back, 1.2 is so close. He just needs to get that one corner to get himself back into the slipstream. There it is, 0.8 of a second. Let's get himself back in the slipstream range of those drivers in front of him, and there he goes. He listened. Good shout then on Ace Killer if he can hang on to the back of him. 0.4 of a second. Okay, Ace Killer will have a little toe off the drivers in front. Who's going to benefit down here then? Let's get ourselves a little bit of outboard cam. We can see all four cars. Potter having a little look back on Philo, gets the move down into turn 1. Late braking from Oni, closes that gap back up on Ace Killer. Again, Philo in front has another little look back on Potter. He's going to be able to get it into turn 2 like he did last time. I don't think he can. Potter's already too far in front. Potter gets that second position, but Philo again pushing him hard around this long right. Ace Killer and Oni Kaijin will be able to take advantage if anything goes wrong with these two drivers in front, if they have any kind of incident. They are as is. much like this for 25 minutes now. Okay, like I say, Gecko's managed to pull a bit of a stunt up front. He's now 8.2 seconds ahead of Potter. That's just due to the battle they've been having for second though. Down towards this final corner. Potter getting a good drive out of there. Not so great for Philo. He's still within tow range, but we know with the power of the BMW, it's just got the legs over the Philo on these straights. Sorry, over the Philo. Well, I suppose it is, but on the Lexus, that gap then from 0.2 up to 0.5 by the hit time they hit turn 1. Again, Potter all the way down into first gear to get that big BMW stopped. It's working for him. He's managing to stay ahead of Philo. An empty track in front, 8.3 seconds to Gecko Racer. Nice killer, loses a bit of time to Philo, possibly under threat from a move from Oni Kaijin. He's got himself right under the rear wing of the 4th place man. Six, almost out of fuel. 21.2 seconds back from that top 5. Going to see him come in at this lap. Is he going to risk another one? He does seem to be the wobbliest of all the drivers tonight, Mart. Ridder's been in then, fresh set of softs. Just over half a tank, about 2/3. Brinky also been in. What tyres he come out? Fresh set of softs. Yeah, so Brinky behind him on the medium tyre. He's gone for over 3/4 of a tank. Running long then for stint 2. Fat Pickle's been in. He's got himself a fresh set of mediums. Frosty's been in. Mediums on board for him. IT43 has been in. He's picked himself up a penalty though, unfortunately. Losing it on the fastest point of the track. What a stupid game. You're going to go all the way back up to speed. You lose all that speed all the way down this straight. It's way more than the 3 seconds. Stupid. 40 seconds down then, unfortunately. Frosty. Why did he gain so much time on Frosty then? 5 seconds he pulled. But still untouchable at the minute, Gecko. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it on Gecko for some glory shots while I just go and grab another drink, because obviously I'm out of drink now. We're half an hour delayed-ish. Back, 2 minutes. Gecko in the pits then. Woo. Shouldn't have run. That was a dumb idea, wasn't it? Taking on board the fuel then. What's he going to come out on? Hards or the soft tyre? That's the only options he's got left. Soft tyre for stint 2 then for Gecko. Philo stops out on those mediums. Retakes race lead. Lexus good on fuel as well this season. Gecko back out then, 29.5 seconds behind Philo. Ace killer. Out the pits. Fresh set of softs on, 3/4 of a tank. Potter has gone for the soft full tank of fuel. Whoa. Firing that BMW around there. Yeah, soft on for Ace Killer, soft on for Potter, but Ace Killer taking on 1/4 of a tank less fuel than Potter, which allows him to make the jump on the pit stops. More work for Potter to do then. Ronnie Kaijin back out, fresh set of softs as well, forced into full tank of fuel, or near as damn it. 5th position still, 3 seconds down from Potter. Ridders, he's out on his soft tyre, so he stopped a little bit earlier, as did a few of those drivers behind. Brinky, he stopped out on the mediums. Mart has just stopped, so he's out on a fresh set of softs. He's gone for a full tank as well. Fat Pickle's not long been in either. Mediums for him to play with. Half a tank on board for him. Frosty just been in a set of mediums and 3/4 of a tank as well. IT43 a couple of laps ago. Little purple sector there for Mr. 43. So yeah, just 3/4 of a tank I think you took on, and a fresh set of softs a couple of laps ago now. Philo yet to stop. Is he going to brave another lap on that fuel? He's pushing it on tyres as well. He's lost 2 seconds, I think, to Gecko behind him already. Again, the Lexus just doing better on fuel than the majority of these other cars. Does peel over to the right hand side of the circuit. He is coming in the pits then, Philo, this lap. Where is that going to put him when Gecko comes through? Oh, getting the tail out on the Aston, pushing it hard then. Through this final corner. Philo just coming into his pit box. We are going to see Gecko retake the race lead then. It's, doesn't take too long to get some tyres on, but it takes a fair amount of time to get that fuel in. There goes Gecko Racer then, past the pit entrance. There is pit exit, so retakes the lead of the race. Philo still taking on board fuel. Ace Killer goes through to take second. Potter goes through to take... Ooh, does he? No, he doesn't. Philo manages to get back out of the pits just in front of Potter before they hit turn 1. But right in the slipstream now for Potter on Philo. Both drivers on a fresh set of soft tyres. Philo's obviously a lap fresher. Can Potter make his work? He's pushed hard. He's managed to get that position a couple of times off of Philo. Again, just falling a little bit further back, 3.9 seconds. Who's that kicking up dirt? Potter on the way through there. Still on that hunt for third, back off of Philo. Ollie in 5th then. 3.8 seconds down. Ridders 6th, 15.4 seconds down. Brinky 7th, 4.3 seconds. Mart in 8th. So 4.4 behind Brinky. Risking it, everybody risking sticking their wheels on that. Fat Pickles in 9th, then just 1.7 seconds behind Mart. Frosty 10th, 8.7 back from Fat Pickles, and IT43 35.9 back. So Ace Killer with that short little fuel stop. Let's close that gap up on Gecko Racer. Again, is it going to be enough in the Nissan? Can he close it down? Still kicking off here for third as well. Philo under pressure for that third. Potter braking side by side into turn 1, but Philo holds the inside line, so he keeps that position for now. Potter in 4th. They've just got to be careful again. Oni Kaijin only a little few seconds back. Mistake from either of these drivers will allow him to take advantage and maybe move up the field. Then no nobody to have a race with at the minute. Brinky also just sees Ridders off in the distance, as does Mart on Brinky, as does Fat Pickles on Mart. Lonely at the back then for some of these drivers. Driver getting it all wrong around the final corner. Oh no, it wasn't. Gecko just coming through 6.3 seconds. So he's lost 0.4 of a second to Ace Killer. Ace Killer has found some time. His car obviously holding a quarter of a tank less fuel than Gecko's up front. Stopped on the same lap as well, so tyres very similar in terms of wear. Now then, again, Ace Killer's just found something in the second half of the season in this Nissan that's made it work for him. So keep an eye, 24 minutes left remaining. Can Ace Killer bring that gap down? Can he get another step higher and take top spot again at a TOR round? Still finding time. There's a purple lap on screen as well. 1 minute 34. He is still finding time over Gecko. Still kicking off here though for third. Philo risking it again. 3.7 behind Ace Killer. Still got a mirror full of Potter. Just 0.8 of a second back as they come through that right-hander. The little Lexus slightly easier to negotiate through the back half of this circuit, through all the tighter turns. The BMW stomps it when it comes to the longer straights. It's got a couple of miles an hour at least, more than most of these other cars on the grid. But it is a bigger, heavier monster, so he is slowly falling back from Philo. Also needs to find some time here somewhere then. Me as well, dropped a little further back. He's now 5 seconds down. Ridders has fallen a little bit further back as well. Now 18 seconds back from Oni instead of 15. Brinky slowly closing up on Ridders. Mart slowly closing up on Brinky. So these three could end up having a bit of a tussle before the end of the race. They have still got one more stop to make. Most drivers will be left with the hard tyre for the final stint. Fat Pickles 4.7 behind Mart. Frosty another 8.7 behind him, and IT43 36.1 seconds down. Oh, Gecko's found a bit more time, or is it a mistake from Ace Gibbs? A mistake from Ace Killer. Gap between himself and Philo dropped to 2.4 seconds. The gap between himself and Gecko is up to 7 seconds. Almost a second that Ace Killer's lost to that battle in front. Gecko will be happy about that. He'll have seen that time drop. He's slightly concerned with Ace Killer's pace. Happening here, using more time. Ace Killer is now at 1.8 seconds ahead of Philo. Potter as well falling a little bit further back, loses another tenth or two to that fight between himself and Philo in third. Again, slams it into first gear to get that car slowed down. Only holding that fifth position, comfortable at the minute, 6.5 seconds behind Potter. 20 seconds over Ridders. Ridders, as I say, he's got his own problems coming up. Brinky just 2.6 behind him. Mart just 2.8 behind him. So they are slowly closing up on Ridders. Everyone got to take that final stop as well. So it all depends on fuel strategy and, you know, how long you're willing to risk it, how quick you burn out your tyres. we'll see when everybody decides to come in. I can imagine there's only going to be 10, 12 minutes left on the clock by the time they come in for a set of hards. Obviously the drivers that have had the hards on will be coming in slightly different times. Having a lonely race, 6.2 seconds behind Mart, 8.8 seconds in front of Frosty. Similar situation for Frosty, he's obviously 8.9 behind Fat Pickles, 38 seconds ahead of this man, IT43. Just been overtaken by Gecko Racer, race leader. There he goes. 7.4 seconds his lead now. He's killer. Got his head back in the game. He's lost another couple of tenths to Philo, but not too much. Potter's managed to keep himself just in check as well. 1.5 seconds back for him. Another second and a half from 5 to 6.6 now behind a Potter. Ridders 21 back. We've still got Brinky and Mark closing up on him. Just 2 seconds in it between these two. They're only 2 seconds behind Ridders as well. Medium tyre on for Brinky. Soft tyre, but an absolutely beaten up soft tyre for Ridders. Struggling to keep that in a straight line. We'll probably see him coming in the pits at the end of this lap, actually. Not a lot of fuel on board either for him. So medium tyre on for Brinky. And we have got Mart on that soft tyre, closing up on him. Takes 0.3 of a second out of him in the last few corners. Ridders still trying to push his car, but the tyre's not allowing it to happen. Both close up on him by about a second. He does slowly drift over to the right hand side. Brinky looking for the toe. I don't know whether he realises Ridders is coming in the pits. I think he does now. Brinky through then into 6th. Mart 7th. Now 1.6 seconds behind Brinky and closing. Then hits his pit box. Frosty goes through. IT43 still a couple of corners behind. Gecko Racer still finding time up front over Ace Killer. Now 8 seconds lead over Ace Killer. Another mistake has allowed Philo to tuck himself under the rear wing. In a dangerous spot here then for Ace Killer. Plenty of fuel on. Tyres not looking too bad. A little bit more wear on his than Philo's. Philo gets himself into the slipstream. Has he set his car up so it's maybe not quite as fast on the straights, but quick in the corners? He is closing up on Ace Killer now. Switches up to the right hand side of the circuit. Hello, Mr. Killer. Oof, there's that dodgy glitching. A little bit deep, yes he has. Ace Killer tries to come back at him. This is the move we saw him do on Potter. Ace Killer unable to make it work though. That little battle will play into Potter's hands a little bit, though he is still 1.7 seconds behind that fight. He'll want them to have a little bit more of a fight, thank you very much. That will all slow them down. Except Gecko up front, and allow him to close up on that fight. Absolutely unstoppable tonight then. 8.5 seconds now, Gecko. Just over 15 minutes remaining in this penultimate round of the Team Oliver Racing GT3 League. hosted here on PlayStation by Mature Racing Club over there on Facebook. So if you want to get yourself involved, again, we've only got one more round left this season. But it seems to have been a popular season again. So if you want to get yourself involved next season, I suggest you get hold of MRC over there on Facebook. Get the name Neville Cluley, Potter McPot as he is, and hit him up. He's race admin, he sets it all up. He's sorted out all the sponsors with Team Oliver Racing. Big shout out to those guys over there, the truck racing team, and Martin Oliver Transport, the commercial side of the business. That's enough for you, Gecko. Philo up into second, then pushes his way past Ace Killer, and there is Potter now tucked under the rear wing of Ace Killer himself. Tyres looking a little bit worse on Ace Killer's car. Does that play a factor into Potter's race? Hanging on in there to Ace Killer, just 0.8 of a second back now. It's a short straight to have a burst on. Try and close that gap back up to Ace Killer, and does so, gets it down to 0.5 of a second. Oof, runs wide though, Potter, pushing it hard, trying to close that gap. IT43 in the background does the same thing. I've got Fat Pickles and Brinky in the pits for their final stop. Again, there is the possibility of a little bit of trinkle of rain, but I think if it's not hit in the last 6 minutes, you should be safe. But it is starting to look a little bit more cloudy. A little bit greyer. Potter then on board. Second down from Ace Killer now. BMW driver sitting in fourth position. 13 minutes to go. Again, power of that BMW, able to close up on those long straights, but I think just the size and weight of this thing, the length around some of these corners, just causes him to struggle a bit to keep up with some of these shorter, niftier cars, nippier cars. So top 5 drivers at least not stopped. Gecko still out on his soft, quarter of a tank of fuel on board as well. In second, quarter of a tank. Soft looking a little bit worse than oh no, sorry, exactly the same as Philo's, maybe even a little bit better. He's also retaken fastest lap as well, Philo, so that's an extra point, although he's losing points at the minute to Gecko in terms of positions. He gains those extra points with the pole position and fastest laps if he can hold on to it for the rest of the race. Ace Killer then under all sorts of threat. His tyres on the front left absolutely beaten up. Potter looking to get past him ASAP. Again, all these drivers not stopped for their final stint yet. Nor's Oni, Nor's Martin. He's 29 seconds behind Oni. Brinky has stopped. He is on a set of softs for final stint. 27 seconds behind Mart. Fat Pickles has also stopped, taken on his final set of softs. Ridders has gone for the hards. Final stop, softs on for Frosty, so he can push that Mercedes now. 11 minutes on the clock for him. Oh, IT43, been in. Oh, are you getting the pit glitch, IT43? You must be, because that's 3 seconds you've had every time you've stopped. So I'm assuming whether that's messed up your race, I don't know. We'll have to find out. Top 6 then, not stopped. Could see Brinky get that position off of Mart in this final stop. He's only 27 seconds behind him. Where is he? Mart. He's sitting in 6th. 26 seconds over Brinky. Oof. Brinky now on the soft tyre for this final stint. March has got the hard tyre left, I think, for I think it was medium soft and then hards for the final stint. So he will come out almost, if not even a little bit behind Brinky. Brinky might make up this position here, we'll see. Potter then past Ace Killer, but it's all about this man. Last 10 minutes to go then. Gecko race on. He's had a little bit of a punch up with Philo for that first position for a few laps, but he's managed to make a bit of a break, got himself out front, left Philo battling with Ace Killer, Potter McPot and Oni Kaijin. That just allowed Gecko to squeeze a gap here and there and pull more time. He's 8.2 seconds on the road. Again, top 6 drivers not stopped yet. Gecko still with plenty of fuel on as well. But you can see they're just starting to struggle again. Now the tyre wear's hitting its max. Getting a bit misty as well. We may miss the weather completely. Gecko is losing a bit of time. He's lost 0.4 of a second in those last couple of corners. We're going to see Gecko pit this lap. He's going to risk it. Again, he's got plenty of fuel on. He's risking it by the looks of it. And it is. What are we going to see Philo do? Looks like Philo's peeling over to the right hand side of this circuit on the straight. And is not coming in the pits. He faked it. Cheeky boy. Potter McPot also stays out. Killer coming in this lap then, so out of the fight with those top 3 at the minute. Oni been in, fresh set of hards on for him. Mart still not stopped. He's lost even more time to Brinky. Oof, loads of time in fact. That's gone from 24 seconds down to 19. Brinky's easily going to get this position off of Mart. Time falling now as well, even more. Mart's risking it for another lap. Brinky's gonna get him before he's even managed to make it to the pits maybe. Fat Pickles has stopped then. Ridders has stopped. Yeah, Frosty has stopped and IT43. Gecko not stopped yet. 7.3 seconds. He's running it till he's out of fuel, I think. His rear left is beating up. His front left isn't much better. Are we going to see him come in? 7 minutes remaining. Oof, it's getting dark here. It's getting misty. It's getting foggy. Gecko stays out again. Philo, you going to fake it again for me? What are you doing? Faking it? No, he's coming in this time. In he comes then Philo. Potter McPot stays out as well this time. Ace Killer been in. Just a quarter of a tank of fuel on board. He's on the hards. He's struggling after the session on the softs. Can he get himself past or back into a fight with Philo? I think Philo's only got to take on a little bit of fuel. 6 minutes remaining. There is Ace Killer going past the pit entrance now. Where is Philo? Gets released. He is going to come out in front of Ace Killer. There is Philo's tail lights hitting turn 1. And that hard tyre struggling, as did Ace Killer. So Gecko still not stopped. 6 minutes remaining. Potter still not stopped. Mart in the pits this lap as well. I think we are going to see the Brinkster come through. Yeah, there he is, coming down the start-finish straight. Mart only just hitting his pit box now. Fat Pickles, he has stopped. Mart could be... Oh, he's back out the pits now. He should hold this position over Fat Pickles. Yes. A lot further down the track. Unfortunately, Mart also picks up that 3-second pit exit penalty. Stupid game. Gecko Racer, race leader in the pits this lap then. Tyres brutalised, fuel destructimonized. Ultimate Pot follows him in from second. Philo then 21 seconds down. Rounds this final corner. He's got to push down this start finish straight on these hards. Oh, gets a wiggle on that final corner. Potter not in his box. Gecko in his box now. Takes on board the fuel. Gets released. He should come out cleanly in front of Philo. Potter gets the tyres on now. I think he's going to lose this position to Philo. It's going to be close. No, it's not. There goes Philo. Work to do then for Potter. He's going to be about 2 seconds down by the time he's up to speed. And only 4.5 minutes left to push. There it is. 2 seconds it is then. So Gecko gets released from the pits. 9.6 second lead over Philo in second. Ultimate Pot third, drifting that BMW around the long right-hander. Loses time to Philo. Could be all in the bin. Ace Killer then holding fourth. 3.3 back from Ultimate Pot. Oni Kaijin another 10 seconds back. Brinky nearly 21 seconds back from Oni. Mart, yeah, loses that position in the pits. 13 seconds down from Brinky. Fat Pickles just 3.7 seconds behind him. Ridder's another 20 seconds back, but he's got a mirror full of, yeah, I'm Frosty now. Frosty's on those soft tyres for this final stint. Ridder's is on the hards. They have got 3.5 minutes left to fight for this one, so it's on then between Ridder's and Frosty. 90.43, unfortunately that little Renault just not got the legs for this championship, I don't think. See what the fast driver's doing. Jump in some of the practice lobbies, right? Before the race starts, you know, before the season starts. See what all the top boys are driving. Choose that. And then set it up around that. Definitely get in the practice lobbies because the boys will give you all the help. Chuck you any tunes, try this, try that. Min, max, 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 min, 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 all that sort of stuff. I don't know what it means, that's all I hear from these maniacs. Min, min, max, max, min, min, max. Halfway, 0.9. Gecko loses a tiny bit of time to Philo, but he's not overly bothered. He's still got 8 seconds over the second place driver. And what have we got? 2.5 minutes left. Plenty of fuel on board for Gecko then. He's just got to get it around this circuit for 1.5 more laps. Philo comfortably in second at the minute. 3.2 seconds ahead of Potter McPot. Potter still got his own worries. Ace Killer not too far behind him, just 2 seconds back. No mistakes for this final lap then for Potter, otherwise he might end up giving that position to Ace Killer. Oni Kaijin's going to have to settle for 5th if he keeps it pointing in the right direction. Brinky closes a little bit of time on Oni, but again, I think it might be it's far too little, too late. Flipping 20 seconds back. He's not making that up in a minute and a half, is he? Not unless Oni Kaijin decides to emigrate to a different country or something instantly. Again, Mart too far off the fight then. Oof, he's made a mistake somewhere on the hard tyres because Fat Pickles is all over the rear end of him. Mart on the hard tyre. Fat Pickles on that soft tyre, slightly worn, but they will still be running a lot faster than Mart's in front. So there could be a position on the cards here for Fat Pickles. They should get across the line to start their final lap. Just 1 minute left on the race timer. It's on then between Mart and Fat Pickles. Closes up then Fat Pickles. Mart keeps that car right in the centre of the circuit. What's Fat Pickles going to do? Switches to the outside. That's a brave move. As he carried enough speed to get himself past. Mart then tries to outbrake him but goes far too deep. Slings himself off circuit. loses that position anyway to Fat Pickles. So 7th for Fat Pickles, 8th now for Mart. Right, what have we got? 10 seconds left on the clock. Let's go and look at Ace Killer trying to cheat and send Potter McPot off circuit. But it is going to be Gecko Racer that gets an extra lap, the cheeky sod. Just as the clock ticks to 0, he crosses the line. So it is going to be Philo that takes the first of the positions here tonight. He is going to come home for 2nd. Potter McPot takes 3rd, backwards spinning around almost, giving himself brain hemorrhages. Ace Killer follows his way through as well in 4th position. Oni Kaijin didn't run out of fuel this week. Well done, 5th position. Brinky, or not under threat, but under threat. Brinky in 6th, IT43 in 11th. A little go back at him just at the end of this race, but it is going to be Brinky that takes that 6th position. Almost takes IT43 out in the process. Fat Pickles then making his way past Mart. He's going to take 7th. Backwards and on fire. Mart puts his wipers on. Is it starting to rain? Maybe not. But Mart takes 8th. Frosty comes home backwards for 9th. Ridders will take 10th position. We've seen IT43 cross the line already, and it is all about this man then. Gecko Racer gets that extra glory lap. He's out of fuel in the process. Crosses the line on and tick over, but good result again for Gecko. Holds him in the championship lead as we go into the final races next week. So we are at Spa next week for the final round. 2 races. We've got the sprint and the format. The sprint and the feature format race for you next week. So 2 races, 15 minutes ish, or X amount of laps, and 30 minutes ish, or X amount of laps. I'm not quite sure how they've got it set up. But that will be the final race next week. Again, Gecko just stretches a tiny little bit of a lead out again over Philo. Potter McPot, I think, not in with a chance now. Unfortunately, coming in 3rd, that just gives the guys in front too much of a gap to have a fight and attempt to get those positions back. So it's on next week for the championship position. The title goes down to the last race between Gecko Racer and Philo. Come and check it out. Feature 2-race format at Spa next week. That's what we've got for the finals. But yeah, some great racing again tonight. We didn't see any dirty weather, unfortunately. I'm sure a lot of the drivers were pretty thankful for that. It's not the greatest circuit anyway. But yes, that's it from round 9. Come and see us next week. Same time, same place, 8:30 over here. Again, we've got the Pro-Ams running over there on Facebook with D.Racing. So if you're looking for the Pro-Ams, he's got those. We've got the pros. Yep, no problem, boys. Just give the lads a shout in the chats. No problem, boys. No problem. To all you lot in the YouTube chat as well, thank you for stopping in. Thank you for watching the race. Much appreciated. Make sure you click those like buttons. Share it out. You know the thing. Most of all, tell your mates. Tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.